Hi, everybody, and welcome to Love Fraud Live. The sociopath may tell you that you're mentally losing it, or make you feel like everything is your fault, or accuse you of cheating. Here's what you need to know. None of it is about you. I'm Donna Andersen, author of lovefraud.com, and tonight I'm going to talk about typical sociopath strategies. Believe it or not, you shouldn't take any of them personally. Although the behavior is horrendous, it's just what sociopaths do. This presentation is being recorded, so please keep your video and microphone turned off during the presentation. And when I'm finished, I'll stop the recording and then we can chat. Okay, so let's get started. I talk to a lot of people about their experiences with sociopaths, and often they tell me something outrageous, something unbelievable, something shocking that he or she has done, and I respond with, yeah, they all do that. Now, this causes two reactions in the person telling me the story. The first reaction is shock. They can't believe that so many people engage in the same behavior. And the second reaction is relief. They're not the only ones who are experiencing such insanity. So, what are some of these typical sociopathic strategies? Well, here are some of the things that I hear time and time again. Here's a common one. The sociopath sweet talks you, tells you everything you want to hear, promises you the sun, the moon, and the stars until they get what they want. Then they drop you like a hot potato. Here's another one. The sociopath engages in some kind of offensive behavior. He or she breaks a promise, or is rude to you, or doesn't show up when they're supposed to. Whatever. You have a legitimate complaint that you want to discuss. But when you bring it up, the sociopath turns it all around on you and makes you feel like everything is all your fault. You end up apologizing for standing up for yourself. And here's something else that happens a lot. The sociopath tells you, along with your family, friends, and neighbors, that you're mentally losing it. Now, what makes this so insidious is that the sociopath often seems to be deeply worried about your well-being. I'm just concerned, is what they say, which makes the statements more believable. In the meantime, the sociopath does things to make you think you are going crazy, such as hiding your keys. Now, I can think of at least two people who have told me specifically this about hiding the keys, including the woman that I interviewed for a recent episode of True Lovefraud Stories podcast, which was called Love and Losing My Mind. They hide the keys, you're running around looking for them, and then they magically help you by finding them. There's a term for this, it's called gaslighting. The objective of gaslighting is to make you doubt your own perceptions. Other methods of gaslighting include flatly denying something that they said or did, lying about what someone else said or did, or telling you that you said or did something that never happened. Here's a related tactic. If you're in a romantic relationship with the sociopath, he or she accuses you of cheating. Now, this claim is fabricated out of thin air with no evidence whatsoever. Unfortunately, this particular accusation can be really dangerous. Violent sociopaths often use it as an excuse to beat their partners, even though there was never any cheating. Here's another strategy. Sociopaths may tell you what other people are saying about you, when in reality, these other people haven't said a word and the sociopath is just making it up. Of course, what they're supposedly saying is derogatory and totally upsetting to you. And speaking about other people, sociopaths will actively work to turn other people against you. You may have found that people who were previously friendly stop talking to you or become downright hostile, and you have absolutely no idea why. I talked about this in another one of the podcasts, which was the Kimberly story about. So what has happened in this case? The sociopath has been trashing you. In fact, some sociopaths will do this with your boss. They'll call your boss and accuse you of theft, of misrepresentation, or sleeping on the job, anything to get you in trouble. Or they keep calling to harass you at work until your employer decides that you're just too much trouble. Either way, you lose your job. Of course, sociopaths have a myriad of ways to bleed money out of you. They borrow money and never pay it back. Well, they may pay it back in the beginning, only so they can get larger amounts from you later and keep it all. They convince you to invest in their surefire business and then blow all the money. They shower you with attention and affection when you've received an inheritance until all the money is gone. They get you to pay for dates. They may even take you on a date and claim that they forgot their wallet. Yes, I've had people actually tell me this. They keep doing this until you automatically start picking up the check every time you go out. They convince you to make them an authorized user on your credit card and then max it out. I know that one personally. They convince you to sell your house and then buy a house with them and then take your name off the deed. I've heard multiple people tell me that one. When it comes to financial exploitation, the sociopath's strategies are endless. Now, suppose you're married to the sociopath and you've decided that you've had enough. As soon as the sociopath knows that you're done for good and it's over and there's no more exploitation, everything escalates. Previously, they may have pretended to be civil at times. Well, that's gone. Now, the objective is to take everything you've got and grind you into the dirt. If you're involved in a divorce or custody battle, this is a nightmare. They refuse to file documents. They refuse to follow court orders. And then they file frivolous claims and motions against you. The objective is to make everything a problem, which runs up your legal bills to the point where you can no longer afford to fight. So these are just some typical sociopath strategies, stories that I've heard over and over again, and I'm sure you can add to the list. It's kind of shocking, actually, that they all engage in similar behavior. So the question becomes, why do they do it? Well, to answer the question, we need to remember that sociopaths are fundamentally different from the rest of us. They're not interested in human connection. They don't care about warm, mutually supportive relationships. They're not looking for a heart-to-heart with anybody. Sociopaths view their targets, and that would be all of us, as objects to be used. We are there solely to provide whatever it is that they want from us. In order to coerce us into giving them what they want, they work to establish power and control over us. So a lot of these typical sociopath strategies are designed to tear us down. The objective is to weaken us, to make us feel badly about ourselves, and to take away our human agency. And that's our ability to decide what we want and then do what we want. So here's what you need to remember. Sociopaths do this to everybody. It's just who they are and what they do. So once we see what this person is, We need to disengage. Now, there could be circumstances where you can't physically escape, at least not right away. And if that's the case, definitely disengage emotionally. They are what they are, social predators. They never cared about you. They just wanted to use you. Therefore, you cannot take their lies, manipulation, and criticism to heart.